Hey, my name is Jared Moon, and I'm part of a group of underground athletes you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on fancy equipment for training, and most of us don't even have gym memberships. In fact, our motivation comes from within. You see, we have jobs, families, and responsibilities, but we still have big goals, and they aren't getting achieved at a global gym. For that reason, we have to do things differently. Our training has to be smarter. We don't have every piece of equipment known to man or a ton of time to train, and we don't need it, because we are achieving amazing things without it. So how do we do it? If you ask your average personal trainer or gym goer, they'd call us crazy. Yet we're seeing results better than most every single day. And it's happening by blending mental training with physical training and becoming an athlete. What we call and welcome to Garage Gym Athlete.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. My name is Jared Moon. With me is Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
What is up, Jared?
Not much, man. And we also have Kyle Hazekamp. How's it going, Kyle?
Very well. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I enjoy your posts in our group, and so I'm excited to kind of dive into some of your training and challenges and all the different stuff you have going on. And you're also a data junkie like me, so we could talk about some of that. So let's start with who you are, what you do for a living, and how you train.
I'm a father of two. I currently am a warehouse supervisor, and I pretty much extensively train just in the 803 fitness regime. That's it.
Awesome, man. And what is your garage gym setup like right now?
So I run two different seasonal setups. In the summer, I work out in my backyard on my porch. It's a prop of being in Southern California.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, I move into the garage. Okay.
And let's talk about your weather a little bit, because we were just talking pre-podcast. You're in SoCal, but like in the mountains, right? So where are you located? Correct. And what's the weather like there?
I'm in the San Bernardino National Forest, so awesome. I associate with Big Bear. Right now it's mid 30s outside. We still got some snow on the ground, and it's comfortable.
Yeah, dude. And you said that you live at 6,500 feet?
I live at 6,500 feet. If you ever, obviously with your military background, you can look at the map, and I pretty much live on a huge ridge line.
Okay. That's awesome, man. And how high does Big Bear go up? I've skied on Big Bear. It's a long time. How high is it?
I think it touches about 8,000.
Okay, so you're up there, man. That's awesome. I'm in the small tiny mountains in North Carolina. They don't get up that high, but still a lot of fun to all the stuff that we can do around here. All right, man. So what kind of equipment do you have? I love that you have a seasonal setup, but what equipment are we dealing with when you are training?
I spend most of my money just on the bumper plates. So I have the Rogue beginner setup, and then I also have the Fringe beginner setup. Okay. So, 2 bars, all the weights associated with that. And then because I spent most of my money on the higher end bars and plates, I went with like cap stuff from Amazon for my pull-up bar and squat rack.
Nice. And how's it treating you?
Very, very well. I was a little disappointed with the Rogue stuff until I got the Fringe stuff, and then I realized the quality between the two, and that's I realized it was good to begin with.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a little bit. So you said that when you first got the Rogue equipment, you were disappointed at first.
Yeah.
You just thought the quality it wasn't where it should have been, or what?
So being able to work out on some really high end places. I was able to work out the National Strength and Conditioning Association in Colorado Springs for 18 months. I was used to some really good equipment.
Yeah, about
and you
the
get
best
spoiled.
That there is. Yeah.
So I started. I like to take really good care of my stuff. So I started noticing like the plates were getting dented, or if I left them out in the sun for too long, they would change color. And I wasn't used to that level of equipment coming from pretty much the best.
Okay, gotcha. And then once you kind of compared it to another company, you realized Rogue was pretty legit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. And how's the cap stuff? Because I'm sure a lot of people probably listening to this want to know, because there are those cheaper options on Amazon, and you have some experience with these. Are they? I mean, they holding up well? Is it good quality for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not easy on anything that I own,
Okay.
and so the cap stuff is held up very well. The only thing is I just can't kip on it, so that it is what it is.
Yeah, and what kind of pull-up bar setup is it? Is it like a freestanding?
It's just a squat rack with that.
Oh, gotcha.
That happens to have a pull-up bar on it.
So just 2 poles versus the 4?
Correct.
Okay, cool, man. All right, and so what was the big motivator behind wanting to start a garage gym?
Being in the San Bernardino Mountains, I literally have no access to anything. There is a bodybuilder, a female bodybuilder, who has a very, very small gym up here, and I've been in better hotel gyms. So
awesome.
God bless her soul. You get $35, all access 24 hours, but the barbells are bent. It's stuff that you saw from like when Arnold Schwarzenegger was lifting weights in Muscle and Fitness. You know what I mean? Like the weights have been welded to the bar.
Wow.
So,
So really out of necessity, you had to go you had to start building your own space.
absolutely.
That's awesome, man. And so what are some of your goals right now that you're after in training as a garage gym athlete?
My primary goal is I'm a paratrooper. I'm an Army reservist, and we jump out of airplanes and try to be HUA once a month.
Mm-hmm.
So my primary goal is to try to keep up with the 18 and 19-year-old kids. I'm really impressed with what they can bring to the unit every day, when we're there. So that's my goal.
That's awesome, man. And one thing I want to talk to you about specifically, because you've posted a few things in the group. I think you recently posted a picture of your VO2 max, and you also use a Whoop to track a lot of your data and stuff.
Another whooper.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think of? Let's just talk some of the stuff. I mean, how do you like the Whoop? Because I know a lot of athletes, especially in our community, are interested in it.
I really enjoy the Whoop. I'm a numbers-based person, and I recently just got off active duty, and I was having a hard time. I was giving myself a lot of excuses coming off a third shift, always being tired, and that's one of the things that the Whoop does. The Whoop it gives you no excuses. If you wake up and the recovery's there and your heart rate's not sky high, you can't lie to yourself. It's there. There's no excuses.
That's probably my favorite thing about the Whoop too, is I'll have an off the charts recovery day, right? And I'll be like, wow, I mean, I really need to bring it today. There's no reason for me to hold back, no reason for me to sit on my ass majority of the day or anything like that. I might, you really have to make sure you're bringing it to try and meet the performance standards that your body is ready for. Not that someone's telling you that you should be doing. It's your own personal metrics that are doing that. That's awesome, dude. And when did you test your? Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
I'd say that I think it's pretty invaluable for people that pretty much work out alone or kind of have to self-start their own workouts versus meeting a workout time. There's people that go to gyms with scheduled class times and stuff. It's okay, if I get there, then I'm forced to do this, that, and the other. But when we're working out alone and pushing ourselves, then you kind of have to have a little bit of unbiased push so that you're not either sandbagging it or just procrastinating.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's what I think just for anyone who doesn't know, you can get 3 levels of recovery score. It gives you percentage basically when you wake up in the morning, and you could be red, you could be yellow, or you could be green. Makes sense pretty much, but I have had a few definite red days, really low red days, and those are the days where I'm like, well, should I just do it anyway? I typically do it anyway, and then I just have my strain is way above. Not the best way to tackle it, but I'm very rarely in the red. What do you feel like you average on your recoveries? Are you a lot of reds, yellows, greens? How does it work for you?
I mostly operate in yellow.
Yeah.
I'm still having a hard time trying to crack the nutrition nut with being on third shift and constantly rotating with what I'm doing, trying to find ways to lower my cortisol levels. And, my HRV is not where I really want it to be.
Yeah.
But those are things that now that I can track and I'm cognizant of, being 33 and really focusing on longevity.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that this is an invaluable tool.
Yeah, man. I think so. The recovery game will start loading in your app next week, and I really think that's going to help a lot of people. It helped me specifically start getting a lot more greens because I was pretty much operating the yellow, and then I started playing this recovery game we kind of made up, and I've been getting a lot more greens in recent history, man. So I'm looking forward
especially
to
being on third shift. I mean, that's what, overnight, right? You go in pretty late at night.
So I work at a really weird facility. So I actually work from 2100 to 0530.
Okay.
So
like swings.
Yeah. So like I haven't gone to bed since 1500 yesterday.
Wow. Okay. So you're just kind of operating on opposite. Like
yeah.
Yeah. Is it like that? How many days per week?
Sunday night through Thursday. So like technically right now is my Friday night.
Okay, and then you have to revert back, kind of.
Yeah. So after we get done with this, I'm going to get 4 hours of sleep, and then I'm going to work out, and then I'm going to get on a regular routine schedule so I can be with my family,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to take a nap on Sunday, and then I roll into work Sunday night.
Oof.
Crazy, man. But how long have you been doing this? First question. How long have you been doing this shift work?
About 14 months.
And how have you feel like you've transitioned to it? Because I'm sure it took a long time to get used to.
Yeah, I'm not a night person. So if I wasn't responsible for like putting food on the table,
right?
It probably wouldn't. This wouldn't be the big motivator. But I mean, based off of your time, I wake up I work out at 3:00 in the morning.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Early. Dang.
Yeah.
So I think light therapy and stuff like that might be beneficial to experiment with for in your situation, just because you're probably not getting too much of that, and I'm sure you're indoors with a lot of that fake light.
Yeah, I've one of the things that I'd recommend to anybody on shift work is melatonin. I've noticed a sharp increase in my recovery by about 10 to 15% over the last 3 weeks since I've used it.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, being in the military, there were definitely some times where I worked all through the night, but I never was on like legit shift work where I had a shift that was at night, then it was off during the day. So I have no experience with it, and it sounds like it's 10 times more challenging when you throw in the family life to that. Because if it was just like you were single by yourself and you're like, whatever, this is my new schedule, you could just become, completely revert schedules and never really switch back. But having you're married with kids.
2 children, 2 and 4.
Yeah, that's got to make it a little bit more challenging. I would think.
Yeah, I gave them nicknames Chaos and Mayhem. So
nice. That's awesome.
It's interesting.
Yeah, dude. All right, so what were you doing pre-Garage Gym Athlete before you had a garage gym, or before you were doing our style of training?
To be honest, I just got active duty. I was just feeling kind of bad for myself. I was really away from that group and pushing, mentally and physically every day. And so I just kind of sat and sulked for a while, realizing maybe I'd made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And it didn't help with being on third shift. And I tried to work out at that nice lady's gym. It just wasn't working for me.
Yeah, man. To be honest, that post-military transition can really be can screw with your head a little bit. It's just everything's. It can be a challenge on its own, being active duty, but at the same time, you know exactly what you're doing, what your purpose is, and everything's taken care of for your family. And so making that leap, all three of us having done it now, it can be a challenge. What is the hardest workout you've ever done?
They're at the National Strength and Conditioning Association in Colorado Springs. They had this series of workouts called Freaky Friday, and they didn't name them. And to be honest with you, I forgot the name of the guy who put them together, but he was just an absolute maniac. I would do his workouts and go home and fall asleep and be late for formation.
Nice. That's so what were your what is it, because you were stationed up there? Like what were you in Colorado?
I I had a series of jobs with the 1st Brigade 4ID out of Fort Carson.
Okay.
And they had this really weird loophole where they had a tactical athlete program, and they were training guys at a 10th group.
Okay, that's awesome.
10th Special Forces group, but they didn't make it just exclusive to them. So I got a hold of the application and paid $30 and had at it.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's a great experience. And you got to train there for, you said 18 months?
Yeah, I was there. I worked out with the FBI, some of the non-strength athletes like judo guys. Just absolute animals.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Really great experience. And I'm just trying to think, like, I've definitely had some of those workouts before. Probably some of my, like, most brutal MRFs, like in the summer or whatever, where the only real thing that was going to help me after that workout was going to sleep. Like you were saying,
Right.
It's like you just go pass out and let your body deal with whatever it needs to deal with, because it's just too much. All right, dude, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Ruck marching.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to say there is nothing more miserable than 45 pounds on your back. And that to me is like it's like a level, because no matter what happens, it's going to stay the same. And the only thing you can do is just try to balance it out with mental toughness.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow's workout.
Yeah, what the ruck coming your way. Awesome, man. Are you doing the workout tomorrow? Why are you gonna do it?
We'll see what my recovery is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is a brutal one. I'd say if your Whoop says don't do it, I would probably listen.
Yeah. I have not listened to my Whoop before. I did 60 miles on the trail out here.
On a bike?
The Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay.
So I did 20 miles a day for 3 days in a row.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And I pegged the strain. I was over 20 each day.
Nice.
For 3 days in a row.
Wow.
And my body I should have just, slowed it down, but my body was just killing me for like 2 weeks.
And what was your recovery like? Yellow or red every day when you were doing that?
I posted pictures up on Facebook, but it was like,
yeah, I remember that.
It was bad. Like, go to a hospital, like, go see a medic, IV bad.
That's awesome. All right, dude. So if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, good question. And I knew this was coming. I'd probably say a kettlebell.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
I think that there's just so many things that you can do with it outside of just, kettlebell exercises. Yeah. That you could mess yourself up.
I think, back in the day, my answer, and I've talked about this a little bit on the show, but like, it's barbell for a long time, but I really think I'm starting to transition towards the kettlebell just because of how much you can do with it and carry it around, like Joe's favorite reason for having any piece of workout equipment. But yeah, I think kettlebell's a great choice, man. All right. Well, before I get to my question, Joe, do you want to ask him?
Yeah. So if you had a wish list for the equipment you could add to your gym and somebody would give it to you, what would be at the top of your wish list?
A forced treadmill.
Oh, like a true form? Like a true form?
True form?
Yeah. I mean, I just thought they were called
I think that's like the
brand,
the proper name. I think I'm saying the brand. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like a fan bike is Air Assault, is Airdyne, is Rogue Echo, like all of that, but it's technically like a fan bike. Yeah, dude. I want one of those too. We were just actually talking about this with another athlete, but I think it is the most expensive piece of equipment you can get as far as what I have seen, like by far. We got a rower, newest rower you can get's $900. Airdynes are $800 to $1,000, but I know the True Form specifically is like somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000, and it's just like off the charts expensive compared to most everything else.
I think you could get a rower, a dyne, and a ski erg all and still save money.
and the Concept 2 bike, because they have that bike now. You could get all of those things and still come out cheaper than that. But no, I think that'd be great, especially for like doing runs when it's colder and stuff, probably in your area.
Yeah, I mean, just having the ability to run on those a few times, it's undescribable, I think, compared to like a Life Fitness treadmill.
Yeah. All right, man. A lot of garage gym athletes listening to this out there. What is the best advice you could give to us and everyone listening?
I read a book last time I was deployed, No Easy Day.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys have read that. And one of the things that I read that I say a lot to myself is anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
Yeah.
And now I know that, that's what I keep in my head. And I know that doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, but that's what keeps me motivated. It just meant a lot to me, and I've been able to apply it.
I love that. All right, dude. Joe, you got any more questions?
No, that's cool.
So what is the full, like, isn't there something in that Navy SEAL motto? So anything worth doing is worth overdoing, and moderation is for cowards, right? Yeah, that's
right.
I love that. All right, dude. Well, it's been a blast having you on the show. I really appreciate your time, man. Thanks for being on.
All right, thank you.
Hey, man.